Do you ever wonder if your dog feels the heat the same way you do? You crank up the AC, fill the water bowl, maybe take them out a little earlier in the morning. It feels like you're keeping them safe, right? But what if some of the things you're doing to help your dog through summer are actually putting them in danger? Every year, thousands of dogs end up at emergency vets with heat stroke, burned paw pads, severe dehydration, and organ damage, all triggered by innocent mistakes their owners made without thinking twice. And the truth is, you're probably making at least one of them right now. Let's start with the one almost every dog owner gets wrong. 1. Walking them on hot pavement. You step outside in your sneakers, the sun feels nice, and you think, perfect time for a walk. Here's what you're missing. The air might be 77 degrees, but the asphalt under your dog's feet could be 125. A 1995 study published in the Annals of Emergency Medicine by Harrington and colleagues, titled Pavement Temperature and Burns, Streets of Fire, documented just how brutal the gap is between air temperature and ground temperature. On an 86-degree day, asphalt can hit 135 degrees. At 95 degrees outside, it climbs past 155. And here's the part that should stop every owner in their tracks. Skin damage on pavement that's 125 degrees can happen in just 60 seconds. We don't feel it because we're wearing shoes. Your dog is barefoot. Their paw pads look tough, but they're still skin, and they burn. The simple test vets recommend is the 7-second rule. Place the back of your hand flat on the pavement. If you can't hold it there for 7 full seconds, it's too hot for your dog. And here's what makes this so sneaky. Your dog won't stop walking. They won't whine. They won't pull back toward the house. They'll keep walking right next to you because they want to be where you are, even if every step is burning their pads. Actually, that silent suffering, the way dogs push through pain just to stay close to us, is something we're going to come back to at the end of this video, because it's at the heart of every mistake on this list. So in summer, walk early in the morning or late in the evening. Stick to grass. Carry them across the hot patches if you have to, or grab a pair of dog boots. Your dog's paws aren't built for the sidewalks we built for ourselves. 2. Leaving them in the car, just for a minute. I know, you've heard this one before, but the data on this is so much worse than most people realize, and the just a minute lie is what kills dogs every single summer. A 2020 study published in the journal Animals by Hall and colleagues at Nottingham Trent University and the Royal Veterinary College reviewed the records of over 900,000 dogs in the UK and found that vehicle confinement was responsible for around 5% of all heat-related illness cases, and those cases were just as likely to be fatal as any other type. And it's not just summer. Their research showed internal vehicle temperatures hit dangerous levels from spring all the way through autumn, even on days that don't feel that hot to us. Here's what's actually happening inside that car. On a 70-degree day, the interior temperature can reach 89 degrees in 10 minutes and 104 degrees in 30. On an 85-degree day, you're past 100 degrees in less than 10 minutes. Cracking the window does almost nothing. Parking in the shade helps for a few minutes, then the sun moves, and flat-faced breeds, French bulldogs, pugs, bulldogs, boxers, are especially vulnerable because they can't pant efficiently to cool themselves down. Once a dog's internal temperature climbs past 105, every organ in their body starts taking damage. Kidneys, brain, blood clotting, heart, all at once. The simplest rule is the only rule that actually works. If you're not taking your dog with you when you step out of the car, leave your dog at home. There is no errand short enough to be worth the risk. 3. Exercising them in the heat like nothing changed. This is the one almost nobody talks about, and it's actually the biggest killer of all. Most people think heat stroke happens when a dog is locked in a car or trapped in a yard with no shade. The science says something completely different. That same Vet Compass study by Hall and colleagues found that around 74% of all heat stroke cases in dogs were triggered by exercise. Not cars, not yards, exercise. The dog who plays fetch a little too long on a warm afternoon. The dog who goes on a normal 30-minute walk during a heat wave. The dog who keeps running at the park because their human is still throwing the ball. Dogs don't sweat the way we do. Their primary cooling system is panting, and panting only works up to a certain point. Once the air around them is too hot and too humid, they physically cannot dump heat fast enough. And here's where it gets dangerous. Dogs don't know how to stop. They were bred to keep up with us, to work, to play, to follow. So they'll run until they collapse, especially the high-drive breeds like Labradors, Golden Retrievers, Border Collies, and Belgian Malinois. Male dogs and younger dogs are at even higher risk because they push harder and ignore early warning signs. In hot weather, the rule isn't walk less, it's walk differently. Early morning before the ground heats up, or evening after the sun drops. Short routes, constant water, and the second your dog's panting gets heavy, their tongue widens or they start slowing down, the walk is over. No exceptions. 4. Shaving their coat to keep them cool. Summer hits, your dog looks miserable in all that fur, and the obvious solution seems like, let's shave it all off. They'll be so much cooler, right? Wrong. And this myth is actually one of the most damaging things you can do to a double-coated dog. Here's what most owners don't understand. Your dog's coat isn't just fur. It's a precisely engineered temperature regulation system. The outer layer, called the guard coat, repels heat and reflects UV rays. The undercoat traps a layer of cool air against the skin and acts as natural insulation, the same way attic insulation keeps a house cool in summer and warm in winter. When you shave a double-coated dog, you're not making them cooler. You're stripping away the only system they have for keeping the heat off their skin. And if your dog has any of these breeds in them, Golden Retrievers, Huskies, German Shepherds, Australian Shepherds, Border Collies, Pomeranians, Bernese Mountain Dogs, Newfoundlands, never let anyone shave them. The American Kennel Club has been clear on this for years. Dr. Jerry Klein, the AKC's chief veterinary officer, has explained that shaving a double coat removes the insulating layer, makes the dog more susceptible to heat stroke, and exposes their skin to UV damage and even skin cancer. And here's the cruelest part. Once you shave a double coat down, the fur often grows back wrong, patchy, wiry, sometimes never the same again. The right move is the opposite of shaving. Brush them often, like way more than you think. The brushing removes the loose, dead undercoat that traps heat and lets the coat do what it's designed to do. If you've never brushed your dog enough in summer, start this week. The amount of fur you'll pull out the first time will shock you. 5. Assuming their water bowl is enough. Be honest. When was the last time you actually paid attention to how much your dog drank today? Most of us fill the bowl in the morning, top it off when we notice it's empty, and assume that's enough. In summer, it's not even close. Veterinary guidelines from sources including DVM 360 and Hill's Pet Nutrition recommend roughly 1 ounce of water per pound of body weight per day as the baseline for a healthy adult dog. A 50-pound dog needs around 50 ounces, but that's the cool weather number. In summer, with heat, panting, and activity, that requirement can climb 50% or more. And here's what people miss. Dehydration in dogs is sneaky. By the time you see the obvious signs, sunken eyes, dry gums, lethargy, loss of skin elasticity, your dog is already in trouble. Mild dehydration causes headaches, fatigue, and reduced organ function long before any of that shows. Chronic mild dehydration through a hot summer puts real strain on their kidneys. The same kidneys we're going to need to work for the next 10 or 15 years. The fix is so simple it almost feels too easy. Multiple water stations around the house, a second bowl outside in the shade, always carry water on walks, add a splash of water to their kibble in summer, drop a few ice cubes in their bowl on the hottest days, and clean those bowls daily because warm weather plus standing water plus dog saliva equals a bacteria farm most owners don't even think about. 6. Leaving them outside while you're at work. Remember earlier when I said the silent suffering, the way dogs push through pain just to stay close to us, is at the heart of every mistake on this list. This is the one where it matters most. There's a version of summer dog care that looks responsible on the surface. You leave them outside in the yard. There's a tree. There's a bowl of water. You think, they have shade, they have water, they're fine. Here's what's actually happening on those long, hot days. Shade moves. The spot that was shaded at 9 a.m. is full sun by noon. That bowl of water sitting in the sun is now warm enough to be useless. The grass they were lying on has heated up, and your dog has nowhere to go. Because they trust the boundary you set. They don't break out of the yard. They don't dig under the fence. They just lie there, slowly cooking. Cornell University's Riney Canine Health Center is direct about this. Dogs left outside without adequate shade and water are among the highest risk groups for heat stroke during the summer months. And once a dog's body temperature climbs past around 105 degrees, the damage cascades fast. Acute kidney injury, blood clotting issues, shock, organs failing one after another. And here's the part that breaks my heart. By the time you come home and notice something is wrong, the damage is already done. Dogs who survive severe heat stroke often have permanent organ damage. Many don't survive at all. And this is where everything in this video ties together. The pavement they walked on without complaining, the cars they sat in without barking, the walks they powered through when their bodies were screaming to stop, the fur you took because you thought it was helping, the water that wasn't enough, the shade that moved. Every single mistake on this list has one thing in common. Your dog didn't tell you. They just trusted you to know. So this summer, don't ask if your dog seems fine. They will always seem fine. Ask if you've actually thought about every variable from their perspective. The ground, the sun, the water, the time of day, the air. Because to your dog, summer isn't a season. It's another set of conditions they're trusting you to navigate for them. And that trust is the most important thing in their entire world.